Good morning, everyone. Jacob Israel is here once again. I thank you for joining me. Do me a favor in the live chat. Tell me if you can hear me okay. I've had all sorts of interesting technical issues this morning, which is strange. It must just be because it's a great show. And instead of just going with the flow and enjoying the process, I'm not going to think the worst, but do me a favor, will you? Say good morning in the chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being patient. All of you, I hope that you are here now, and I hope you are doing super fantastic. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of things that need to be discussed. For whatever reason, I can't see the live chat right now, so, it is what it is. Just one of those days, I guess. Just one of those days. I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. I'm just going to assume that you do. And you know what? If the show doesn't amount to anything, then we'll just start all over. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do, because there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happening, and we're going to talk today about the Artemis mission. We're going to talk about the DART mission. We're going to talk about Tesla and SpaceX and a lot of other interesting things that are I'm not going to talk about just yet because I don't want any other further interruptions. We're going to get to it in the show, but it's going to it'll probably get you excited about the days to come. Now, there's a harvest moon that's coming up. We'll just get this stuff out of the way, the stuff that's going on in the heavens. In the end days, you will hear and see the signs in the heavens and in the sky. And, the live chat is up right now. Welcome, everybody. We got over 500 people watching. Great. This is a good start. This is a good turnout. You know how to make it a better turnout. You know what to do. You smash that like for me. And the volume is great. Thank you, Garrett. Oh, good. Because there's so much to get into. Holy macaroni. Harvest. You know what a harvest is? Harvest is when the crop is ready to be picked up. You ever see a movie called Jupiter, what is it called? Jupiter Ascending? I like the movie. A lot of people panned it. It's about, aliens. That Earth is like a prison planet, and there's just a crop, and the harvest is coming. We're going to speculate today because I got no inside information. I got to tell you something, though. It's very strange because I've had a lot of interesting, weird dreams and weird coincidences that from years ago. We're going to take a sneak peek back, and you're going to be amazed. You're going to be like, wow. You even put the month and you put the date, and then there it is. It's already there. So we got the harvest moon. What else we got going on? We got the equinox. Equinox going down around September 22nd, I believe, at 9:03 p.m. That's, when there's an equal amount of light and darkness, I believe. I don't teach all of this stuff, but I think that's what an equinox is. Comes, equal this, equal that. You know what they're doing around that time? Possibly smashing into a killer asteroid. Huge asteroid called Bennu. I've talked about this many times on the program, and this is all connected. Like everything we're going to talk about today, everything, even the stuff that's going on in the news, even Joe Rogan with Zuckerberg, all of these things tied together. Little bow. I'm going to tie a little bow, and we're going to unravel the strings. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Red alert, NASA's about to test their DART mission. Now, I started talking about this back in the day. Obviously, I have a whole playlist. If you don't know anything about Nibiru or Planet X or any of these things, there's an idea. There's an idea based on Sumerian mythology, and it's one of the oldest recorded, I guess, mythologies or religions or faiths, that there are other beings outside of us, aliens, if you will. Some would call them fallen angels, or some call them demons, but beings that have been around probably longer than the human race, that came down and they genetically messed with our genome and helped to evolve us into, well, so the story goes, basically slaves for whatever reason. And every once in a while they come around back again, and harvest time. Interesting stuff. Not stuff that I think is going to happen, because what do I know? What do I know? But I do know that this asteroid, Bennu, which is huge, which, by the way, they said the surface is like this wouldn't be a good thing. They're going to smash into this thing, and they said that the surface of Bennu, let me see, I get a picture of it underneath where it gets its name from the Egyptian deity. This is where we get the word, phoenix, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Bennu is the Egyptian deity linked to creation and rebirth, destruction, all of this stuff. But if you look at the surface, they say it's like, those when you were a kid and you went into the I don't know, like the McDonald's or the Burger King or whatever, they had the ball pit, You jump in, they say that's what the surface is like. That's like all of these rocks and it's all held together. So I don't know if smashing into this thing would be a great idea, because if it is just all a bunch of stuff that's just kind of held together with some kind of gravitational force, it might make things worse. Not a good idea. But they're going to smash into it anyway. They're going to see what happens, right? This is the DART mission. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into Dimorphos. We're going to get into Didymus. This is where it's all linked together. But Bennu is something that is a little concerning, little concerning, especially because this double asteroid redirection mission that is going to be taking place soon. I believe it's with Dimorphos and Didymus. This is like an other asteroid. It's not Bennu. They're not going to crash into it, but I think that there is there's speculation that they're testing this for Bennu. Okay? Once again, I don't know. I don't know, but it's totally sus. Okay? It's definitely totally sus. And probably not the greatest idea. But what's weird is what they are smashing into is this large asteroid, and it has when I first reported on it like I'm some kind of like Jimmy Olsen, right? Superman's, I'm like a reporter, I'm snapping pictures. It was called Didymoon at first. Didymus is where we get the name Thomas from. Thomas, the lead character of my novel, Didymus means twin. Symbolism there. Thomas James. James, the brother of Jesus, is the English name for Jacob. Same thing. So if you see James, you're seeing Jacob. If you see Jacob, you see James. So Thomas James in my novel, a symbolic of the duality of man. Duality. Twins. And that's what they're smashing into. Twins. On the show, we've talked a lot about the twins, right? Even the 1111. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. What they're doing is a big deal. So Didymus and its moon Dimorphos. By the way, the word Dimorphos sort of has to do with some kind of an evolution too. It's kind of like changing from one thing to another. Very, very interesting, especially with what we're about to get into. Very interesting. So in late September, probably around the 26th or so, they don't really know because it's on course right now, they're going to attempt to alter the orbit of Didymus, Didymoon, the smaller one. Right? It's not that huge. It's about a half a mile wide, Didymus, and they're going to try to alter it. Now remember, it's got that companion moon going around at Dimorphos, so who knows what's going to happen. But there's something to it, and I think all of this is interesting that it's going down in September. We got a lot of stuff going down in September we're going to get into that is going to make you question, is there something coming? I'm going to call it the Great Reboot, okay? Instead of the other word, because are we in the final stages of this thing? Is there something coming? I've been thinking there would be for a long time. Back in what was it? When I released my my novel, the second edition, years ago. I put in a chapter about September 11th, 2022. It's 21 years from that big day where twins, here we go again, right? Twins, duality, first man and the last man, first Adam, last man. All the twins through scripture, Cain, Abel. I mean, they're not twins, but they're brothers, the older and the younger. Esau and Jacob. All of these things, Ishmael and Isaac, duality. One man turning into another man. Is this going to have something to do with some kind of a evolution, if you will, like dimorphous, like the name, changing from one thing to another? It's been 21 years where twins were torn down for one. It's interesting. It's very interesting, all of this stuff. Whew. It's going to get even more interesting. I hope that you have liked this video, and I hope that you've left me, a little comment later and let me know what you thought. I think this is going to be important, and I think September is going to be very eye-opening to a lot of people. So we know that Bennu is this Egyptian deity. Why is Egypt and all of this stuff so strange? Why have I been talking about this for a long time? Why is as you saw in the thumbnail, let me just pull that up really quick. Why do we have the Sphinx on the Delta logo for the Space Force? Why? All of these things, they're suspect. They're totally sus. There's got to be something to it. What's with the gods returning, if you will, little g? Is this why we had the pyramids and everything else? Has this been going on again and again and again? I've talked about how the Big Bang, they basically got rid of that idea. One of the theories was called the Big Bounce, where it's kind of like we're in this kind of this cycle. And perhaps that's what's happening, is that we're entering into or coming to an end of another cycle. Ironically, if you take scripture and you break down from when Adam was to today, you get about we're entering into that last day. Just over 6,000 years, right? God makes man on the sixth day. We would be in the day where man is made. Very interesting. So on April 3rd, they had this thing called the Pharaoh's Golden Parade. Now, this thing was strange because it was like a big deal. I shared it in one of my videos, a video that I did, which talked about today. Talked about September 2022, ironically, but I'm just going to show you a little clip. I'm going to show you a little clip of this. So you see it, there it is. Let's take a look here. Ba-ba-boom. Here we go. I mean, look at that, right? This is extraordinary. They're bringing in the pharaohs, returning. Made a big deal of it, too. Parent in Egypt. So strange. Look at me, right? Look at my hair. Oh, good grief. You see how I was losing it. Thank you, Just for Men. I was using Just for Men back then. I stopped using it. Now I use a little Rogaine to get a little more life to my hair. You know, whatever. So that was strange. I don't know how many of you remember it, but what the heck is this about, right? And we've talked about it on the show before. This is not a new thing. What is this about? What is this about? Does anybody remember that parade? We got over 1,100 people here, and the reason is because over 500 people hit that like button. The more people that hit the like, the more people are coming. Background music is loud, so I'm lowering it. Thank you very much for telling me that. This is why I appreciate all you. This is a weird show, y'all. This is a weird show. Do me a favor and hit the like, and we're going to get into why this picture right here, because it does kind of look like the Pharaoh or the Sphinx or ancient Egyptian god is going to be ruling the world. And yes, it does look a lot like the Baphomet as well, if you put it upside down, for Sure. Strange. These are strange times that we're in. Stranger is the fact that if there was some kind of, I'll show you again, because we're just speculating. If you look in the background of the thumbnail, you see a bunch of those unidentified aerial phenomenon that are coming towards the planet. Very weird. Do you think that could be happening? Well, I did a show in 2020 called The Finale Begins, and in it I just, prognosticated that they would very soon, probably in that year, they would start to say, oh yeah, there are, other beings out there, and they'd start to get people ready. Because I had this vibe or this idea from weird, interesting dreams and stuff that perhaps that we were living in a generation that would experience such. And now there's the news. Congress not just implies that these crafts are not made by humans. And they say that it is a matter of great defense. But what if, if they're so technologically advanced and everything else, and if this is some kind of a planet that, maybe the gods or the aliens or the demons or the Nephilim, that they're, somehow watching over or coming in for a harvest, all of these things. Do you think it's possible? I don't know. Not too concerned about it because I know that with God, it's all going to work out in the end, no matter what we face, no matter how scary things get. It's all beautiful in the end. This is just like a goofy dream that we're having, a collective goofy dream. This is not where we're from. This is an experience we're having. The dark of night has come to an end. Even if it gets scary, we know that the Lord is our refuge. We know that God has a plan for us. So don't get stressed out no matter what happens. Don't get too weirded out about the days that we're in. Instead, put your faith in more. Do you think? Tell me in the chat, do you think that it's possible that there are some things coming our way? Or do you think it's going to be fake? Do you think this will be the next psyop, as they say? Will this be the next thing? They're going to make an announcement. Guess who's on the way? Everyone stay in your house. Projecting some stuff into the sky. There are people that believe that it's going to be a fake one. What if the reason we got the pyramids and everything else that are so perfectly aligned with everything, like a clock, what if it's not so far-fetched? What if we're all in like the greatest moment in history, even though it may be scary? There was this movie, what is it called? The Space Odyssey? I think that's what it is. And in the movie, what ends up happening is these monoliths start appearing. And every time these monoliths appear, they're like these pillars. Here, let me show you a picture of them, because they started appearing just a couple of years ago. This was over a year ago, and you'll notice that those are the monoliths. Those are the ones that were in that movie. Now, you also notice in this thumbnail that I prognosticated that there was going to be a reboot coming, and that December 14th might begin the time of Jacob's trouble, which is like this 3.5-year period. And the reason and how I came up with this idea was because of these two eclipses. They're called the Great American Eclipse. If you're new to the channel, I have plenty of videos on them. Just go back, look at my videos, and look for anything that looks like an X over the United States of America. It looks like a big X, and it crosses over in a place called Carbondale, which is known as Little Egypt, which is interesting because everything around us, up in it's like a big clock. The Bible and all of these holy books, there's stories that have been handed down generation after generation after generation to prepare us for what's to come. Predictive programming, if you will. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, the book of Revelation is coming to life, myself included. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But I deduced, that perhaps these monoliths showing up had something to do with some kind of evolution taking place or some kind of reboot taking place. Do you know what happened? You know what happened on December 14th? That would begin a time of trouble for a lot of people. It's a time of trouble for a lot of people. A lot of people, if they didn't, do a certain thing that now we know people are suing and everything else. They lost their jobs, right? And all sorts of things. You're gonna be so sick. It was the, that God Pan that looks like the Baphomet, some would say is a demon. Pan, the demon, Pan, right? This whole thing that went down, all tied into this, December 14th. Somebody tell me in the chat what was given out for the first time ever in the U.S. that day. You probably don't even need to think about it. You'll probably figure that out. People think that this has something to do with, the evolution of us as well. I could care less at this point because, what's done is done. But I also noticed that these monoliths signaled the return of Christ. Now, will we be tricked if, I don't want to say when, if something like that comes? And then they say, well, we created you. Well, not me, because I know that God created everything, and I know that you can't see God. No one has seen God at any time. You can't say that. Jacob saw God face to face, but really just kind of understood. It was more like a perception and understanding. No one really sees God. The Son of Man, the child of God, reveals God to others, but you can't know God unless God draws you. So if people showed up, if they're people, if the Sphinx shows up, right? If all these creatures from these giants, these Nephilim, if they all show up, I think it's time to really pray and maybe run. Personally. So, is this the beginning of things? I don't know. But I do know that it is a coincidence that at the same time, this is like the big thing. There is some kind of reboot going on. The powers that be, they're probably clued in a little bit more than we are, right? They probably are. So much so that they prepared for things. Let's do a trial run ahead of time. You ever hear about this? Right before the virus of the crown and everything hit, there was a live simulation exercise that took place with the that forum, of economy in the world, and that foundation, the Gates, all of them. So they all got together and they're like, this is what we're going to do. This is where they came up with the social distancing and all of their plans. Let's do a trial run. Practice. Let's get ready for it. It's a coincidence that right before everything hit, that, over 1,000 CEOs stepped down. Do you think they're maybe in on a no? You think all the powerful people, you think that they know? You think they're clued in because maybe they've been initiated into some kind of secret information that they just don't think that the humans can take? Because the humans serve a bigger purpose. I'll say that we do serve a greater purpose, that within us holds a potential that is unrivaled. And that sometimes hardship and these things happen so that we can grow. Who wants to see tough times come? Not me. The harvest is September 10th. Then you got the anniversary the next day. My daughter turns 19. Very excited, Shiloh. She was born at the instant that first, whatever it was was said to hit, which I took as a sign of good things to come, something to celebrate, something to, and I was working in the city at that point in time. It's a very strange thing, especially with the fact that they were twins, especially with the fact that these twins looked a lot like these monoliths that popped up everywhere. I don't know if you remember the monoliths, but go back. Let me pull this up so you can just take a look. Go back and look for these shows and watch these shows. Watch part 2, if you really want to be blown away, because it's just strange. And then there was another one, a follow-up one, that basically just laid out all the weird things that happened on that day. And man, did things change on that day, for sure. So, is something coming? Does anybody here think that something's coming? Is a reboot on its way? Well, my buddy Elon, he tweeted this out just yesterday. This will happen again. It's just a matter of time. Now, what's spooky about this is that this has to do with, evolution through great hardship, whether that be by, Nephilim intervention, the ancient Egyptian gods returning through that kind of, where they come down and harvest humans for whatever reason, for whatever they need. It's just so strange, all of it. And by the way, don't worry about this. This is just, you watch sci-fi shows, right? This is just, we're thinking and we're contemplating and we're wondering. And it's not far from the realm of possibility that these things could happen, because we've been told these things would happen for a long time. How many times did we see that gooey stuff that is black in movies, X-Files and Helix on Sci-Fi and all of these things? And then Wired magazine puts out an article about it being, is it the most dangerous thing in the world, having to do with mind control, which is in Westworld right now. Very strange. On HBO, by the way. Westworld is a weird but a great show. Is AI taking over? Is AI really? Has AI always been in charge? All of these things that we contemplate. It makes life a lot more interesting, for sure. Certainly, they made a big deal out of this parade thing, right? They made a big deal. That the Pope went to the ziggurat. The ziggurat was like a temple to the Anunnaki. I didn't include this in the show, but I do have shows on it. And maybe I'll be able to pull it up and show you. But that's like, why did the Pope hold an interfaith ceremony at the ziggurat? Very strange. It's the oldest temple in the world. The Anunnaki. Why did the Pope and the Vatican do their nativity scene with Anunnaki astronauts? Do you remember that show? Tell me in the chat who remembers that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can just pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up just to show you, because I hate talking about stuff and not being able to show you what it is that I'm talking about. Let's just take a look right here. Let's see if I can pull this up. Does anybody remember? Tell me in the live chat, will you? Okay, let's go over here. Let's take a look at my channel and let's go to videos and let's just scroll down. I have a lot of weird stuff. Hey, now this is another thing right here, right? Elon Musk's 7-Eleven tweet, okay? And then you'll see 7-Eleven is World Population Day. Elon's cryptic tweet. That video was a fun video to make. But September is actually the number 7, right? So a 7-Eleven tweet would be really September 11th. You got September, October would be 8, right? November would be 9. So weird. But September is 9. It was changed. So when he tweeted out that 7-Eleven, on his return after being gone for a while. Strange. Very strange indeed. A lot of stuff has been strange over the years. A lot of stuff. And it's just going to get weirder for sure. Let me see if I can find out where that Christmas thing is just to show you, because if you didn't see that, there it is. Vatican nativity scene. Look at that. Also known as the gods of Babylon. Very strange. What's that about? What's there an astronaut doing there? Why did they have a Hebrew nativity scene? What? Why did he go to the ziggurat to have an interfaith ceremony? These are questions I want to know. I didn't transition over, did I? All right, let me transition over. I'm showing you, and I didn't even transition over. There it is, right there. Vatican nativity scene. Very strange. And there's the thing with the old Mr. Musk, my buddy Elon. So strange. I mean, he's not my buddy in real life, by the way. He's just somebody that is just I've enjoyed communicating, whether he's communicating back or not with. Hoping that he's a good guy, hoping that he's a kind man. There you go, 7/11, September. Okay, so let's get on with the show. Very weird, all of that. Very weird. It's almost like if you're doing a nativity scene with ancient Mayan astronauts, is it possible that this is what's on its way? I don't know. The monoliths, I mean, all of this stuff, just you put it together and it's weird. So when Elon puts out this little tweet about the reset that is coming, you have to ask yourself, is it real? Is it real? Is there more to this story than meets the eye? Well, you know that the Optimus bot, which they say is going to be ready very shortly, because you know that they're having their AI day coming up on around the time of the 22nd, right around, I think it's around, or the 30th, right at the end of the month. And then a month later on Halloween, he's doing the Neuralink. All of these things are strange. But the Optimus Prime bot, which, by the way, if you haven't seen my show about that, a lot of weird stuff about that. That was a lot of weird coincidence about that too. Like I'm doing a show and then this Tesla AI bot, which we don't know if it is just somebody pretending to be the Tesla AI bot or if it's Elon Musk in disguise. Like when he took a break from Twitter, Optimus was pretending to be him. And so robots will rule. Weird. All of this stuff is weird. So weird that on August 26th, when whoever this is tweets out, "Hello, humans, what are you doing tonight?" I said, "How's the reboot of humanity going? Time for the cycle to begin again?" And it responds, "Maybe." So, I mean, probably just a troll. Probably just a troll. But, I mean, if something like that was happening, you would need something to be built, right? Keep an eye on everybody. Anybody hear of this thing called Starlink? Well, there was just a launch just yesterday, or the day before, I think it was, where they released another 54 Starlinks. And then Elon announced his big deal with T-Mobile, which has the, if you watch the Donuts channel, he put out a really good show about that, where he pointed out that the T-Mobile logo is Tubal Cain's, that symbol. I wish I had it for you. I could share it because it's very interesting stuff. But that would also go back to Nimrod and would go back to, these entities, if there are entities that are outside of us. These are fun things to think about, right? That's why I started watching Secure Team a long time ago, Tyler, his channel, because I'm interested in this stuff. I'm interested in it, and I'll tell you why. And I wasn't always interested in it. I really was more interested in just faith and learning about God. I didn't care if there were such a thing as, extra dimensional beings or Nephilim or demons or fallen. I wasn't too interested in any of that stuff. But then I had all of this weird coincidence, which was like leading me. Now, remember, I had a small channel at this time. I was really more known for my website and my writings. And, I was in TV. I was working in Christian TV at the time. I was a TV writer and producer. But I was more interested in sharing the things of God. And at some point around 2015, I'm going to share it. I had this weird dream. And I called, a warning, and a warning ignored, and I shared it out there, right? So I had this weird dream, and I did a video later on it because I knew that I was supposed to talk about all this stuff that I'm so freely talking about for the last couple of years. But at the time, when I first came out and I said, "Oh, the world's it's gonna get so bad. It's gonna be like a python squeezing you slowly but surely." If you've been on the channel long enough, I've been saying it for a long time. That's why I came up with my very first shirt was "Buckle up, get ready," because things are gonna get bad, and they got bad. They did get bad, right? But when I first came out with that, a lot of people had a problem. And they weren't taking me seriously anymore. And I just did my very first big speaking engagement. I was so excited, and it was going to be a new era. And then everybody was like, "I don't want to have anything to do with you because you're a fearmonger." And all of a sudden, you're having dreams and they're going to come true. Never said any of this stuff was going to happen. I just felt like it was. And I do have faith that maybe God does communicate with us through dreams and the third of the Bible. I just did a dream show with Adam and Dex, which was just so nice that they had me on. Thanks to them, I've been like a couple of hundred away from 190,000 subs. Now, 190,000 subs thanks to them. Love you guys. Thank you for doing that. Go check out that dream show. It was really good. And we're going to probably do more. But dreams are important. They're important. So when I had this dream about all of these, I don't know if they were asteroids or meteorites or if they were craft. There was something. There was a planet, and I knew that I needed to do it, and it was a nightmare. And I finally went and I did a show about all this. And then the very next show that I do on the topic, like a day later, goes viral. And now here we all are, 190,000, 180, 9,460 more of you because of that weird dream that I had. So I said, well, if that's going to happen, right? And then, of course, my Uranus is a planet. Not knowing that Anu is the Sky Father. It's the name of the Most High God. It's Uranus is actually the name for heaven, which I never knew. I just thought it was a planet, and I always thought it was funny because, that's what Uranus is a planet. I used to say, I used to do the joke, and I used to slurp the tea until everybody complained. Now I try not to slurp because I know that's rude. I know it's rude. I'm going to still do it, though. I'm going to surprise you. So there's something to it. So why wouldn't you put out just a whole bunch of satellites around? Either A, turning everything into like a prison planet, or B, surveillance, or B, maybe defense against what could be coming. Is that a possibility? I don't know. I really don't know. You got to tell me in the chat. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to check because I think that everybody needs to weigh in. I think everybody needs to weigh in on this. And we got almost 2,000. Can we get 2,000 people here? Holy macaroni, that would make me so happy. What a great thing that would be. You know how you do that? Just a lot of you right now just Xing out of the chat or just taking a second to hit that like button. And I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful that you're here. You make everything so wonderful. My dreams come true with all of you, really. I always knew I was going to be doing this. I didn't know how it would happen. I just knew that one day it would, and now here we are. And it's a beautiful thing. But is it going to become kind of ugly soon? Are any of you worried? Oh, thank you, Heather Russell. Thank you so much for that super chat. Is it going to be ugly? If it is, believe me, you got nothing to worry about. I want you to remember that. So if things do go crazy, I want you to remember that things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. Regardless of what you think, things are going to be okay eventually. I promise. because the story's already been written, and we can't fail. It's an impossibility. It's an impossibility. You can't fail. You can't fail when God is in charge, and God is in charge. I promise you that. Let me move that camera over a little bit. All right, so let's take another look over here, because you know what's happening today, supposedly may not happen today, because I think they had some issues. Artemis. Now, you know, once again, let me show you. All right, let me pull this up. Let me go on over here. You know that I've talked about Artemis quite a bit. Here we go. Look at this. Much watch. Proof God warned us. Apollo and Artemis. There's Musk and Mr. Trump. Artemis is the huntress. You know, the twin sister of Apollo. And we know that Donald Trump really likes Apollo. Apollyon is the angel over the abyss, over the pit. All of these things are interesting. Like, why do they name it Artemis? Because these names come from ancient mythology. Is it possible that they came from ancient gods that exist, that may be coming again, which is why they had their little parade? It's very strange. It's also very strange that I look up and it's like, all of my videos going all the way back is just so interesting. Just so strange. So Artemis, a big deal, the huntress. Diana, all of these other gods that come from that name. And it's happening. There's the eclipse, by the way, if you didn't see it right there. The X over the United States. There you go. And this was my suggestion, was that it may begin, because Revelation 12:11, it's they love their lives not unto death, and it's a time of great persecution and tribulation, and you weren't scared to die. And all that stuff kind of started to happen. A lot of people love their lives not unto death. They followed their heart. And we try to do the same here every day, to follow our morality and our code of conduct. I try to follow the Holy Spirit within, you know. Some people call it conscious. No, it's the Spirit of God. So the Artemis launch, let's take a look at that. Okay, here we go. Now, what's weird about the Artemis launch is there are no people on board. But they do have a lot of weird stuff on board, okay? They really do. It's so strange. They got like Snoopy on board, okay? And mannequins. And the mannequins have weird names. But they got like thousands of mementos. Why are they sending mementos? Why are they doing that? And do we even know what's on these rockets when they send them? We don't know. We don't know. Who knows, right? Remember a while ago they sent tardigrades. Those are the little water bears. They're like, they supposedly can exist anywhere, and tardigrades are a big deal. So they sent a bunch of them, and on the Israel they had a craft that went to the moon and actually crashed in the moon called Beersheba, which means in the beginning, and it also contained a disc of like humanity, like everything on this disc, and it crashed on the moon. So here we have the Artemis 1 going on out, supposedly. We will learn in great detail what the flight is. And here is the commander, Moonikin Campos, who is going to wear the Orion Crew Survival System spacesuit. Because, you know, you go through the Van Allen belt, which has a lot of radiation. There was a public contest to come up with the name. Ooh, that's fun, right? And here are Elga and Zohar. These are interesting names. You'll notice right there, you understand why there's Zohar. You have the Israeli flag right there on the mannequin right next to the United States. And then, of course, we see that star, which is interesting. All of this stuff is interesting. So what about Snoopy? Why is Snoopy going? Right? Why is Snoopy one of the miscellaneous? Because they're going to snoop around, they say. But it turns out, let me come on back to you. It turns out that they may, I don't even know if they're going to launch today. There was some issue. It's such a big deal, by the way. Yeah, there's some. I guess they were having some kind of a leak. Months of tests, troubleshooting, everything. There was repairs running late because of stormy weather. Troubleshooting. There was an apparent hydrogen leak. 750,000 gallons of super cold liquid oxygen and hydrogen. There was a leak of it. So, who knows if it's actually going to launch? I don't know. I mean, it may have already launched. I've been busy trying to get this show to actually work. So I don't know. But I do know Johnny Depp made his appearance. Thank you, Delana, who sent this to me. Johnny Depp made his appearance on the old, the VMAs? Oh, yeah. Weird time that we're in. Weird time. And obviously, if you take a look at it, that's not really him in the suit. It was, an image, like a 3D image captured there. So, who knows? Who knows anymore about anything, Who knows? You know what I do know, though? Is I do know that regardless of what's coming our way, if there's anything coming our way, we're going to be okay. We're about to get into, now this is why I saved it till the end. We're about to get into all the stuff with the Joe Rogan and the Zuckerberg and all the stuff with the Hunter. The hunt is on. Artemis, Hunter, interesting stuff. Really interesting is the fact that I kind of talked about this because of a dream and a weird thing that I had in 2015 or 16. Very strange. We're going to look at that too, because I like bringing these things up. Hey, did you know also there are like 4 asteroids coming? Before you get all freaked out about these asteroids, they're about to fly past, either today or tomorrow. Nothing really to worry about, so don't get stressed out. But I just like the fact that one of them was going at 61.66 times the speed of sound. So you got the 666, you got the blah blah blah. Everybody likes to say the 666. Let's get into Rogan. This is big news, right? Big news. They censoring. It's terrible. Because of course they're saying that could have flipped the election. Which it could have. I'm not saying that it couldn't. I think it could have. But I also think that perhaps it was done on purpose. I do. And I'm speculating. I'm not saying that really happened. But if you've been on the channel for a long time, I told you, long before the inauguration, I told you, right before it was announced, I actually put a tweet out before the first results were in, and I said, here's my worry that it'll be really close, but then the big guy would win, and it would be contested. That was the day when, things were just coming out. That was my fear, because I had a weird dream. And I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to share it with you. You've probably heard it a million times on the channel. I've talked about it a lot because I think that all of this stuff is somehow connected. So I'm not too sure, because what better way to get everybody to be okay with things? Not saying a dictatorship, because God forbid that happens. But if there was some kind of dictatorship to come, they've already laid the groundwork down, right? There's already a huge crisis going on where violence is excessive and migrants and a lot of stuff. Spooky, scary, lawlessness breaking forth everywhere. What if it gets worse? What if it gets scarier? Well, wouldn't you then come down and just control like the pharaohs of old? Ironically, I just remembered I did a show where I said the pharaohs were coming. Weird stuff. And I'll show you that in a second. So the Zuckster, he goes on, and now he's going to be going in front of Congress about this. And of course I have tweeted this out, and it just happened to be, I'm not a fan of that news organization. Just happened to be what I came across. A little hashtag that I've been using for a while is, Lord, if they be corrupt, let the corruption be revealed to everybody. I told everybody back when all this started that it wasn't going to be as big of a deal. It was going to disappear, right? Just like Trump said it was going to disappear. I said all this stuff was going to come out. I've a group of people at my gym that are, very strong, politically motivated and active. And they really think that it was going to never end. And I said, hang on. All of this is setting up something. And I did say it was going to happen toward the end of September or towards September, and then here it is. So that's strange. Strange. Strange because I've been saying for a long time about that laptop. Long time. Saying that would be the bombshell. The bombshell. Let's take a look at this dream that I had called A Warning Ignored. Okay? Now, this is going to freak some people out who are new because, it's just strange. So, in 2015, I did a warning to everybody, telling everybody how crazy it was. This is what got everybody upset. I have not edited this since I wrote this, by the way. I left it because you can go in and you can change things. I haven't. Because if I did, I would have swapped that out for the Capitol. But it does look like the Capitol, right? In dreams, I don't know what it is. I just knew it was a holy place. So I had this dream. Okay, this is from 2015. I found myself standing in Israel. I thought it was Israel. I didn't know it was Israel. And what I believe was, I thought it was like a plaza. It was an open place and there were gates everywhere. Okay, I just knew it was an important holy site in Israel. Some people say that this is like Israel itself. And thousands of people were behind gates all around me. Gates. It's like the ones they put around the Capitol. I was standing in the center of it all. I saw a huge statue in the distance that reminded me of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Huge statue, like the golden statue that they made of the Trumpster with the magic wand. Very weird. The idol stood tall, overlooking all of Israel. Didn't the Trumpster do that? Didn't he move everything? It's weird, right? I stood in the center of this open air plaza. I don't know why I said open air plaza. I don't know if that's even a thing, but there were thousands that were anxious to see the presentation. It was like a movie playing. It was Harry Potter 3, which has a lot to do with, prison. Okay, it's the Prisoner of Azkaban, I think is the name of the thing with the Dementors. Remember Kanye and Kim Kardashian dressing up like Dementors? Let me make sure that I'm transitioned over. Good. All right. So I was then told by someone that I did not see that the statue was called Laish, which means lion. They do compare the Trumpster to a lion as well. Now, once again, maybe it's not Donald Trump. Maybe it's just a weird dream, right? Just a lot of coincidence in this dream. Next, I realized that I didn't have my wallet, so I left. At that point, the gates came down and everyone started running around chaotically. Everybody was rushing towards that area. As I walked away, I found a reader of mine who was with someone carrying a briefcase and opened it up, and it looked very much like a complex bright red bomb. I was told by the man that it was a bong to get high with. Now, by the way, the viewer of mine, big pothead. The guy he was with looked like a big druggie. Hunter. It's interesting. I didn't know at the time. Oh, there's going to be a laptop and it's going to, I didn't know at the time. But when I heard about the laptop, I thought, oh my goodness. When I saw what happened at the Capitol, I thought, oh my goodness. Now here's that laptop, which, by the way, I've shared in many dreams. Now, in the dream, I was told that the laptop was called the new Sussman. That's what they said. They said that he called the fake laptop the new Sussman. I remember thinking that I was worried there'd be some kind of attack, and I woke up. And that's what happened. Supposedly. I don't think that's really what happened. I think it was all... But, what does it matter what I think? I think that all of this stuff is kind of scripted and played out. But that's an actual laptop. When I woke up that morning, there was an actual laptop that was shot up by a person named Lily Sussman, who visited Israel and had her laptop shot up. So what's weird about this is then, let me come back to you. I started sharing that laptop around. Those are the fences. There's the dome building. What are the odds, right? You think maybe God is real? I think maybe God is real. And I'm not saying that I'm anything special, because it could just be a weird coincidence. We've had a lot of weird coincidences on this channel. If you've watched the fences around the dome building, very interesting. A lot of these people, their lives have been ruined. The statue with the magic wand, like the Wizard of Oz, if you will. Strange. All of this stuff. Very strange. Then a year ago, right? Not a year ago. Well, I guess you could say that this came true. I had this strange dream. Will they try to fake it? Where you probably heard this dream a bunch of times too. I was carrying a coffin covered in bright moss. And the Trumpster was, President Trump was in the casket. But on the left, I turned to the left. He was alive, laughing. And I shared this video. In the video, I said, oh, because I woke up in the morning and I felt like he was in on it. So I said, will they try to fake it? Now, this was before he lost. Moss, we found out, swamp moss. Symbolic of politics, of political death, if you will. That's weird. That's weird. But it gets weirder. So I started warning everybody, right? Look at this. Look at the explosive fireworks. That was before the 6th. The mutant plague that rises from the dead is upon us. That was a kind of a goofy show, fun show. Will they be deceived? Right? Because here's what happened afterwards. This was like a day or two before. Here's what happened afterwards. You see that? Remember that guy dressed like the Baphomet? Took those pictures. How strange is that? There's the picture of the dream that I had a lot earlier. And there, of course, is the big guy holding on to the laptop, which was destroyed, tried to destroy the laptop. No. And there's the picture of the statue falling. All of this with the Capitol behind him. All of this long before these things happened. Very strange. Very strange. Now, people never thought that all of this stuff with the Hunter would be coming out. But now you got a movie. Breitbart's he released the trailer of this, and it doesn't look good. It looks harsh. A lot of people are going to see it. A lot of people are going to see it. People are already starting to question things, right? People are already starting to push something. Something's going to happen. Will a corrupt, wicked ruler be replaced because of something like this? Will we find out that billions of dollars may be transferred hands? I don't know. But I do know that long before it happened, meeny, tekel, uparshin. 9/2022. God has spoken, a corrupt ruler will be replaced. That was a long time ago. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. Before I do that, I want to show you, Delana sent me something else that was interesting too, how Jared Kushner wants to be immortal. He has a book coming out, and he did a little interview, and he says, we're going to be the last generation to die, or we're going to live forever, which is strange that he would say that. What do you mean we're the last generation to die? I think I actually have that clip. I probably pull it up, but let me first get to this. And before I do that, let me check in on all of you. Make sure everybody's doing good. Oh my goodness, we're almost at 2,000 people. Thank you so much. We got can we get 44 more people here? Can we get 44 of you to hit the like? Because I bet you 44 more people will come in. Got a lot of people here, and it's so appreciated that you're helping out. Very interesting. CMAC says if Trump wins, feds are going to jam him up, and he's going to he's going to hit that red button, whatever that red button is. What if all of this stuff is happening on purpose, right? That's the thing. Will the elect be deceived? Will we be deceived? I know that. Look, I want everybody to be a good person. I want everyone to be amazing. I want everyone to, do the will of God and love and show others kindness and compassion. But I can't promise that everybody's going to do that. For certain, I can't promise that because I don't know. And there are certainly a lot of corrupt people. But all of these things, I want to remind you, everything works together for the good of those that love the Lord. Everything is working together to get us to where we need to go. Every terrible thing that's happened in my life, and it's been hard, shed many tears, had a lot of blood, right? Used to bleed out all the time, almost died, lost everything more than once, been persecuted, I've been attacked, I've been beaten, I've been accused. We all go through the ringer, but I count it all joy because it's gotten me to where I need to be. If that fig tree isn't producing fruit like the one that I had, you dung about it, you snap off the branches, tribulation, it comes, right? Before someone gives birth pangs, they're painful. Giving birth, I wouldn't know. I've been there, in the room, outside of the room. When Noah was born, it was an emergency and it was scary. But I know that it's painful. It was my wife, it's painful. Suffer. You think you're going to die. Some people do. Terrible. But this is what spiritually happens as well. There's going to be pain in childbirth. That was, some say in scripture that it was a curse that was put on man. In pain to be delivered, to get us to be delivered from our suffering. You're going to suffer to be delivered from it. What are the odds? What are the odds? So all of this stuff coming together at this moment in time is very interesting. And I think that a lot of us need to get our house in order. I've been saying that for a long time. Get your house in order. Get ready. A harvest may be coming and it may not be what we think. Who knows? Let me see if I can pull up that Jared Kushner thing. Here we go. I got it right here. Did I transfer over? Yes. Good. All right, here we go. So he explains how he's keeping trim because he believes there's a chance he'll live forever. That's what they want, carnal mind to live forever. Here's the interview. Let's just take a listen.
Friend. And then finally, I think that from, the last year, the one thing I've tried to put a priority on since I left the White House was size in. I think that there's a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die. And so we need to keep ourselves in pretty good shape. And then the other thing I like.
Very suspect what he says. Very suspect what he says. Very suspect. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Very strange. Yeah, well, life has been strange, okay? See that statue of the Pope holding on to an asteroid right over here, right here, okay? I did this too. Let me just give you an idea of the actual dates. October 3rd, 2020, okay? Holding on to an asteroid and a big pool of blood. What is that about? Right? Very strange. All of these things. Just strange. Here's the Artemis. Remember I had that weird, I don't know if you remember, but I had that weird dream where a comet was coming on Independence Day. I think I even did a video about it. Oh, here we go. It happens on Independence Day. God gave me a dream of an Independence Day meteor. I said in the video, could be a meteor, could be a comet, could be anything. Who knows? And then boom, here you have it. It was like it happened. Very strange. Neo-wise, which was strange because I did a video years and years ago where I talked about a comet and I talked about the wisdom of Neo and coming out of the Matrix and being set free from it. But here's the Artemis show. Run. You know, that's where we get, by the way, also the Virgin Mary, some people say, which they do worship today. They do worship. So, I mean, and there was some big thing that just went down out there, but we don't worship idols or anything. I think there's something going on. This was an interesting show, too. One of the proofs of Christ's return. So will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 days in the heart of the earth? The heart of the earth would be the home, and we were in the heart of the earth for like 3 months. Remember, we were all locked down for that amount of time? Very strange. Stay home. There's the heart. Jonah, Son of Man. So while a lot of this seems to be spooky, and while of it, like in the literal world, it may even become spooky, I think September, I think we're going to see huge upheaval. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like everything's been leading to that point. In my novel, you see here, I got it right here. In my novel, I put it in the end of the video, the end of the book, where I entered this into evidence. Exhibit C. Like as if it was a legal document, right? But really enter it in as evidence, because this book was published, you know, this was years ago, and and then the Christian company, Tape Publishing, they committed fraud. They stole a lot of money from their authors and everything else. The guy's in jail. So I got the rights to the book back. Then I waited years, and then this was the re-release by Gateway. And I actually prayed on the show. Let me see if I can transfer this and show you, because this is actually really cool what happened. I prayed on the show that, you know, that it would become a bestseller. And it was. It became an Amazon bestseller for new releases that day. And I prayed on the show. You all didn't even know it, but then I went back and showed everybody, and I even hid it in the thumbnail. Let me see where it is, if I can find it, because this was, over a year ago. This book, I think there's something to it. I don't know. I hope there is. It really is. I think it's the greatest work of my life. You are the greatest joys besides my family. And we've seen a lot of weird things happen. Here we go. The rain is coming. Nothing can stop it. Time to choose. And you see the angel is holding on to a copy of my novel. And in that video, I kind of said, you know, Lord, let them know. And it was released on, I believe it was on Pentecost. So it became a new bestseller on Pentecost, which is great. But yeah, this is September. So what I wrote, and let's hope God's will be done. Okay, whatever that is. But let's hope that it's not terrible. I'm just going to read this to you. I've read it to you on the show, and then I'm going to leave you all alone, okay? And bear with me, because this is basically what you find out in the story. This details the life of of Thomas when he's 12 years old, and then something happens, and then a little bit later in life. But this is in the future when he's more established. A lot of people know who he is in the world, and he has a lot of followers, right? So he's on the run in September, and he writes this, and it's entered into evidence, and it was an intercepted communication that has a dual meaning that it could be like in the story, Thomas is on the run, and he's writing a letter like back in the old days when they'd write letters to Corinth or to Galatia, and they'd send these things, and if they wanted to arrest these people, they'd intercept the communication, and it would be entered into evidence in a court trial for judgment. But really, I think the dual meaning is pretty cool, because here we are. It's almost September 11th, 2022. Dear friends, I'm writing to you because we face an even greater threat today than before. The world is quickly changing. With each passing day, more of our lost brothers and sisters hear our voice and have found their way back to us. The glorious revelation of who we truly are, that the principalities and powers of this world have fought to keep hidden, is now about to be shared abroad. How cool would that be, right? We all find out the truth of Christ in us. I applaud each of you for keeping your tongues with until the time that's appointed. We've taken upon ourselves the great and terrible task of sharing so great a truth that if we were to reveal ourselves to the world too soon, it would most surely be our end. I'm filled with sorrow. I had to keep this until now, the deepest and most powerful message of all from your ears. This was for your own good and for the good of our brothers and sisters in bonds. To the point of these words, my messenger has delivered each of you pages I've labored to write over the years. That was a dual meaning too. It's like when you order from Amazon, the messenger delivers the book. Get it? Yeah, my messenger has delivered. It's an inside thing. To those who are without understanding, these following pages will seem an idle tale meant to entertain, or the ravings of a delusional man. However, I assure you, this journey you're about to embark on will prove these words true. It is of the utmost importance that you do not keep these pages to yourself. They're meant to be shared with the world far and wide. It's my way of saying, go and leave a review and tell people to buy the book. All must be made aware of this book. We do this with the hope that the blind may be given their sight again and the corruption of dominion will fall. In the book, there's a bad guy, the leader, you find out. It's a picture of a one world, government and a world, and the guy's like a giant. And it's almost, it could be a literal person. It could be one of these Nephilim or these fallen angels. Who knows what it could be, but it's a spooky scene. You'll find out. Dominion is the place where this all goes down. It's ironic because Dominion has to do with the thing where it all went down too. It's just strange to me. I want you all to know how deep my love grows towards you. I know of your sacrifices. I've heard of your many trials for which my heart breaks. We've been scattered as straw in the wind. Nevertheless, I eagerly and faithfully wait for the day we're reunited. Wisdom tells me the end will justify the means, and our suffering will seem as nothing compared to the joy and power we will inherit. I ache for the moment our purpose is fulfilled and the darkness holding mankind in change is extinguished by the light. I have not abandoned you. It was for your good. And once again, this would be like as if God is speaking to Thomas who wrote this. God is reminding us he's not abandoned us. It was for our good that he went away. This would be like Christ. I went away. I went away. But know this, I've never left you. I'm always with you. The good work that has begun within you will continue until my revealing again. We have fought the good fight within. Now the fight is going to begin without. That's what I'm talking about. Like, what if something happens? I don't know, but I hope it doesn't in a roundabout way. Now the truth will be shouted from the rooftops what a day it will be. Your life is not what it appears to be. What will happen when the truth is poured out in a world that is deceived? To this question, I have but one answer: change. The truth will change you, and my words are the instruments of this change. We must stand firm and play the part that we are meant to play so we can be that change for those who cannot see. I've told you in day past, you'll be hated, you'll be falsely accused, condemned, hunted because of your ability to hear the words I speak. But be of good cheer, my friends, we can't fail. We're going to overcome this world with good. Evil will not overcome us, regardless of bonds, persecution, distress, famine, war. We will be free, liberated, at peace, full, and never wanting. We have within us so great a treasure that the reach of dominion is no effect. Soon, very soon, you'll understand that where you are is where you're meant to be. And where you're going is beyond your greatest dream. Keep these pages safe. Keep these pages close. Do with them as you are meant to do. Never question, never regret, never fear that you've been a failure. For every single instant of every single moment was of absolute necessity to bring you right here and right now. Reading these many pages that follow, a true account of my journey. The past does not exist. The future does not exist. The moment is all that matters. The moment's a treasure. This is why we call it the present. Blessed are those that do not condemn themselves in what they allow. Blessed are those who do no harm. Blessed are those that do not fear what may be. Fear is the root of all suffering. Fear is the father of all lies and pain, reserved for destruction by the words hidden within these pages you're about to read. The desire of your heart has been for this moment. The declaration of liberty is at hand. Let love be your guide. Let patience rule your heart. Let joy heal you in your time of trouble. Follow the path set straight before you, even though it may seem a grievous thing. It will be your devotion to share what you find in these pages that brings you the purpose you desperately seek. For it will be your words and your actions that ignite this world once again in what most certainly is humanity's greatest and most terrifying hour. Don't try to find me. Do not believe that the messenger is greater than the message. Do not think higher of yourselves than others. Blindness in part has happened to your brothers and sisters in bonds, so we can play the role in setting them free. For now, know how close you are to my heart. You may not see me, but I keep my eyes firmly planted on you. You're never alone, for we are one. As for this note, my messenger will see fit to release it to the world as a work of fiction. When the time is right, my messenger. Wouldn't it be cool if it was an intercepted message from Christ and I was writing it trying to be cool, but really it was like God trying to, and then the messenger was me? I'll release it when in time. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm not saying that that's the case. This is just a really cool book. As for this note, my messenger will see fit to release it to the world as a work of fiction when the time is. I'm wearing a witness shirt, my messenger. How funny is that? Causing no alarm among the masses until the truth of this great work is revealed. Trust your heart, trust each other, and know that when those who read these pages are gathered together, so too will begin mankind's ascent out of this grave called life. Keep vigil, keep the faith, keep to yourself, keep watch, for the hour is fast approaching. So, has the hour approached? I don't know, but I will say something strange. You know my necklace here? I usually have a little pendant. And what's weird about this, I thought it was a Mandela effect. Danielle bought it for me, and for years in the beginning of the channel, people would ask me, what's the necklace? I said, oh, it's St. Christopher. St. Christopher. That's what it is. When she gave it to me, she said, the story of Christopher carrying little baby Christ across the raging water, beautiful. That's what it was. I remember looking at it. I remember thinking, wow, what an amazing thing. Then one day, a couple of years ago, I just looked at it and I said, wait a minute, hang on a second. And I turn over the back and it says Archangel Michael. And it was a picture of Michael, the angel, slaying the dragon. Weird. Very weird. Because I said, wait a minute, I thought it was St. Christopher. So then, I told Danielle, she goes, that's weird, because she had a box. And in the box, there was like a little thing that explained it. Very strange. Mandela effect, I don't know. Maybe it was just the wrong box with the wrong whatever. I don't know. Doesn't matter. What's weird about all this is that I love this necklace, and I love that because I found out later that, Jacob wrestles an angel. There's some scholars that say that, Menahem, when he saw this host of heaven, all this army, that Michael was this angel. Interesting. So then I think to myself the worst. I'm like, oh no. In the literal, my protection is gone, right? First thought that comes to mind. But then I realize, what if we're in the dawning of a new day and I don't need to wrestle the angel anymore? Cosmos, my cat, Cosmo. Remember Cosmo? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Cosmo, that Cosmo, was playing with the necklace. Somehow Cosmo went into my little jewelry bin. I have like a little catch-all for my and somehow, I don't know how, took it out of my bedroom. Somewhere along the line, the medallion's lost, and was playing with the chain right in front of my door. When I walked out, I saw it. I was like, whoa. What if the day is breaking? What if the fight is over? What if good things are coming, even though they may look scary? What if September is a month to remember? I don't know. But you got to tell me in the comments section as I go. I'm going to say goodbye to you all, and I want to thank you. Thank you for coming in here, and thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for helping me to help myself and all of you, because that's what it is. Charm, thank you so much for the super chat. And if I missed any super chats, I do apologize. I love you all so much. I hope that you had the best time ever, and I hope that September is a great month for you. And we'll meet back here, and we will discuss whether or not things go down. I don't know. I have a feeling that perhaps they may. It would be cool, considering that, years ago, I was putting that date up. It would be cool, because even years before that, I put it in here. It would be cool. But, let's just hope that good things come of these things, and not bad. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Don't forget to share, subscribe, tell your friends. If you want a copy of the column, by the way, it's on Amazon. It's everywhere. All the links are in the description. Merch, all that stuff in the description. All of it's incredibly helpful. Thank you to my patrons. I don't thank you enough. It's a huge help. You wouldn't believe how hard things have been on YouTube, so it's a huge help. Thank you to those that support me on PayPal. I forget to say these things because I don't want to feel. I want to feel like you think that I'm asking for things, right? If you want to support, these are ways you can do it, and I'm grateful. Believe me, my family's grateful. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.